Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hey, much love to everybody out there. Hope you're having a beautiful Friday. Doing what's best for you. Hey, free game. Your life and the world be such a better place if you follow people you're a fan of. Don't ever think your one comment is enough to change or affect somebody's life. Your life and your benefit will be so much better if you follow people you're a fan of. Following people you are not a fan of only keeps you in the miserable place that you are already in to follow them just to hate on their page. Following people you are not a fan of only keeps you in the miserable place that you are already in to follow them just to hate on their page. Alright? So for all you that follow people that you hate, stop it. I'm praying for you. As much as I can, I'm praying for you. Because y'all what's wrong with this world. So only follow people you're a fan of. Don't follow people just to hate. Because your hating is not that powerful. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Rahmatullahi.
Captain Jack. Once again, blaming people and people who actually support the All the Smoke podcast. He blaming people that are subscribed to him. He's blaming people instead of blaming himself. Damn. Jack, somebody's one comment could change someone's life. Think about that. Somebody's one comment could alter someone's life. That's why they have provisions in there to try to watch people from bullying and stop things for those attacks. So yes, that one comment, it only takes one. That could be the one to send somebody off the edge. That's why it's freedom of speech, but watch what you say. Because whatever it is, they hate ain't that powerful, but it made you make a video, right? Take 1 minute out your day to make a video to tell them to stop putting messages on your page, hating on you. It's bothering you. You're a grown man, you can admit that. Say it's bothering me. Every day I'm getting hit up with hate and people are coming after me. What did you expect was gonna happen? But Jack, you're missing the point. I'm not saying you're not a good brother. Not at all. But you're missing the point. You don't owe me an apology. You owe Kwame Brown an apology. Publicly. Should have been done by now. You should have called him or texted him, whatever you did, and then went online and apologized to him in the same format you used to humiliate him. That's all he asked. Is that too much? Is that too much to ask for? Or am I tripping? Or am I just trying to keep beef going between two brothers? I'm not trying to do that. Nobody doing that. You doing that, Jack. You. You the one not taking responsibility. You the one not taking onus. You're the one. Nobody else but you. Now, the moment you start doing that, the moment you could start being better. So let's try to focus on being better. So we can't tell other people what they doing wrong and they need to be better and we're not being better. So let's try to focus on being better. All right, Jack?
They try to slow everybody down and put concrete out there for them to get mired in when the concrete hasn't set. But if you just step on out, wipe your feet off, you can go do it. It's like dog shit, when you're dealing with dog shit, you got to avoid stepping in it. Yeah. But they try to put it in front of you, so you keep running into it. Yeah. My thing with the Breakfast Club is it's poisonous, part of this agenda of pushing this narrative of LGBT Q, I, A plus, whatever in the hell it is right now. I don't have anything against somebody being gay. What you do in your own damn bedroom is your own damn business. But when you start trying to mess it up for everybody else, because you got
brought a butt up to the show. Did you see that show?
You know, that whole crew, I challenged them to a debate. I said I'd whip their behinds, but they won't take the old man on. You know, I just said, I know it'll be embarrassing. The old man whips all three of you one at a time. It's your option. Let's go someplace neutral where you don't ambush your guest and put all that rainbow shit in the background.
Mm-hmm. So you think that's an agenda that they're pushing?
Yeah, it's an agenda. I saw it when I was at UCLA 50 plus years ago. They started saying that they were going to destroy manhood. See, first you had the lesbians who hated men. You had the feminists who hated that they weren't men. You had the soy boy, beta boys, you'd call them now, who were white boys who couldn't make it in a white man's world. And you had nothing at that point until you started getting the anti-war thing developing in the late mid-60s. And they came up with this stupid idea that war is a man thing. So the way to stop war is to change the way boys are raised to men. And if you raise them like girls, so they wanted dolls and frilly stuff and were soft and emotional, that would keep boys from becoming warlike when they got to be men. So when you put that ballast into the mix, they started taking over. Now, a little slight history. I'm going to make it as quick as I can.
No, take your time.
The late 60s, color TV was bankrupting the major movie studios, Paramount, Warner Brothers, MGM, and such like. And they started firing executives to bring people in to get new ideas. See, at that time, if you were an adult, it cost you 50 cents to go to your local movie theater. And every Thursday and Sunday, they had 2 new movies,
Man,
3 cartoons, and some features. So you could walk in anytime you wanted to
for 50 cents.
and see what you would be seeing, and then see the whole thing, and then sit through what you missed, or keep sitting there.
Yeah.
And no matter how big a hit the movie was, every Thursday and Sunday they changed and had 2 more. So the studios are making like 120, 250 movies a year, and they all had the same cast of stars that were in every movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what they came up with was 2 things. They had these young, bright folk that were part of this crew that is going to destroy masculinity.
Okay.
And they said, wow, we have a market. Let's go after the black folk down at the bottom who are getting neglected. They have money to spend. And if we come up with what we term blaxploitation movies, they'll come out. So the way to come out is appeal to the lowest common denominator. So let's glorify the pimps, hoes, drug dealers, thugs, bank robbers, gangsters, and everything else.
Makes sense. Oh.
And they started doing that, and they started glorifying dysfunction. And I heard them discussing this. They said, we need to start with 2 things. The black woman was the role model because she controlled her men, the way they looked at it. And 2, if we start experimenting on black males and trying to see if we can take them down a notch. So instead of I'm black and I'm proud, Ungawa, black power, afro, and a beard, jeans, fatigue jacket, and ready for the revolution, they came out with Superfly in 1971-72, where this dude's got processed heads, driving a pimp mobile, selling drugs, and they make him a hero. They had Black Caesar with Fred the Hammer Williams, and that plot was he was a major drug dealer who was trying to become the only drug dealer, and he was killing and assassinating a whole lot of people. He became the hero, driving off in the limo into the sunset, smoking a big Cuban cigar. And see, they started doing that. Well, when you get this mix rolling, they also had another thing too, which was, let's take over the political parties. And you used to hear them on campus talking this nonsense all the time, where they'd get into the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, and the thing was the Republican Party would work behind the scenes, or at least the ones that got in there, and in the Democratic Party they'd be the voice. So from time to time they would deliberately cause a lot of confusion. And when they caused a lot of confusion, then they could work behind the scenes and nobody would see. So slowly they ran this propaganda, and the best propaganda engine in the whole world was doing it. I mean, even Adolf Hitler and Heinrich Himmler and Goebbels for the Nazis said, we have to model what we do on the American entertainment industry because it gets in so many people's heads, and we need to copy that methodology. Now, they did this, and for 50 years, they have propaganda glorifying dysfunction. Now, if you want to see the contrast, from 1920 to 1940 is 20 years. That's all the time the Nazis had to work. This same group, using the methodology that the Nazis based theirs on, had 50 years, not 20. So we think in terms of their narrative with such foolish shit as toxic masculinity. That's not a word. Okay, homophobic, that's not a word. That's only 10 years old, you see. And the word, for example, for that one is heterophobia, which is the opposite, which is for several hundred years, gay folk had to deal with being lynched, mutilated, beat up, jacked up, fired, thrown in jail, ostracized, all kinds of stuff. So one of the propaganda techniques that is very effective that the Nazis knew is flip the script. Accuse your enemy of being like you or doing what you do. So they're heterophobic, and they flip the script to homophobic. For example, you can find old dictionaries, they've got heterophobic, but they don't have homophobia in there. But now if you type it into an iPhone, heterophobia is red underlined because they don't recognize it as a word, but homophobic, they'll put up a rainbow, you get that little emoji popping up. See, and they cancel the show. They've canceled every show she's ever had. Not one of them has ever made it out of one season. Some seasons she's actually had 2 and 3 shows because she's the poster child for lesbianism. She came out and ruined that comedy sitcom she was on when she talked about she was a lesbian. So they reward her. So what happened is WNBC4 in New York at that time was the biggest broadcast TV station in America. So I came on and I was getting 5.8, 6.2s. And Ellen DeGeneres was on after me, and she was getting 0.27, 0.14, 0.56. So it was an embarrassment. So they asked me to come on her show 2 times. Now I walked in there, and this heifer comes up with an attitude, "Where's your robe?" So I thought she was supposed to be a comedian, you know. I said, "Well, I got to put it on." I said, "It's 80 degrees up in here." And I said, "I'm not putting this shit on. It's my," I said, "Well, they asked me to come." So I'm starting to cop an attitude, but still trying to be a gentleman. So it's 80 damn degrees in there.
Catch your nose.
Yeah. One of my cameramen.
But you know. Yeah.
So I saw one of my cameramen. And I said, "What the hell's going on?" And he said, "Judge, this woman likes it 80 degrees, man. We sweat like pigs up in here. It's harsh. She's bad-mouthing everybody." So a couple of sisters had come over with, well, not sisters, a couple of women had come over from my show. She's up there looking down there, bro, "Baby, when you gonna let the girls come out?" What the hell is this shit? She talked about everybody like dogs. She was nasty. She tried to get in my face. "Didn't I tell you to put that robe on?" I said, "It's 80 degrees. You tell me when I come out here." So he come out. So I put it on and then sat around and said, "Did I tell?" I said, You go to hell. I said, you witch. So I said, guys, let's go. Let's get the fuck out of here. I'm gone. Judge, come back, come back. So they had called all the way from, Judge, please bear with it. We need you. Yeah. So I bore with him and I said, you a miserable ass heifer. And the first time she ever broke 1.0 was the 2 times I was on her show the next 2 days, but the ratings dropped right back to 0, nothing, and they canceled the show. But 4 weeks after that, they gave her another. Now, I used to live in a place called Ojai, California. Mm-hmm. I had a ranch about 75 miles outside of LA. Mm-hmm. Now, I had a beautiful movie star quality wife, ex-wife now, who was very talented. And Ellen and her wife tried to hit on my wife to set up a lesbian threesome. My wife told them what they could do with themselves. But, you know, that's the way they roll. So they reward Ellen DeGeneres and they try to make her a superstar. But this chick has never been able to keep a show for a whole season. But they called her a star. But Judge Joe Brown, they tried to act like nobody had heard of me. Mm-hmm. So the ratings went down. They say, yeah, everybody's did because they had new media coming up. So Judy's went down, Oprah's went down, Phil's went down, but I still beating Phil, still beating Oprah and stepping on Judy's heels. So they come up with me asking me to take an IOU for $28 million from CBS, talking about everybody's taking a hit. And I say, you lying dogs, because I bought some shares of stock in CBS, which I've sold since. But the bottom line is that when you get these shares of stock, you get the stockholders newsletter. And if you ever get to working with a company, do that so you can see what's going on. So they're saying I'm the most profitable operation CBS has through its syndication department and all of CBS because I had such massive ratings and the type of people that wanted to advertise on my show sold Maybachs, Mercedes, BMWs, and stuff like that, Cadillacs, Lincolns, and so forth. So there was a lot of revenue coming in. Mm-hmm. And I had very little overhead, and the way I did it streamlined the production process. So they're bragging about it, and they said everybody, they designated who everybody was who got a raise. So I'm looking at these fools taking about everybody got a hit, and they're lying to me. I said, you're a lying dog. I said, this is what you got. They just give you a raise January 17th. This is what you got. Mm-hmm. You know, how'd you know that? I should have found it out. Plus, you're also doing something that FTC, Federal Trade Commission, would have your ass doing 10 years in jail for insider trading. You've been manipulating this stock. It's like announcing that the dividend is going to drop from 27 cents down to a nickel. So the stock price, this actually happened, dropped from $68 a share down to $32 a share. These executives had a plan with CBS so they would loan them the money. They could be paid back within 6 months interest free. Mm-hmm. So they bought up all of the stock that they could. CBS bought up $280-some million of its own stock at $32 a share, which, as per the intention, had dropped from 68 to 32 because of the announcement the dividend would be cut to a nickel. Well, as soon as they bought this huge load of stock, it jumped up to $64 a share, and everybody dumped their shares. So they got the equivalent of all of this stock for free that they converted to cash. So that was a hustle. That could get you 10 years in federal penitentiary.
Shouts out to Judge Joe Brown and Kwame Brown. No relation that I know of, but they are good brothers. I have been listening to Judge Joe Brown for years. He gave me all the information that I had on Kamala Harris that I shared with you guys. And you guys have heard that. And I used to listen to his radio show all the time. And he's very blunt. He's very old. And this is what they do. They go all the way in. So if you want to go ahead and go up against these people, you better be on your A game. because they on their A game. Always. Now, that was a very key thing that was mentioned there. So, Jack, I'll put that right behind what you said so that you can understand this. Nobody's talking about people hating in the comments. People, they're giving people real information. If people could listen to what he actually said, you know, they're too busy caught on the attacks on Cardi and Lizzo and all of that. He said all of this stuff before, even about Charlemagne, you know, so I'm glad that the young people have gotten, you know, to know Judge Joe Brown, you know, but he said all this before. But now since Kwame has this platform, it's going to echo like it's brand new news. Most of the things he's talking about is about a year old. So I heard it before, and I'm very grateful that he was able to connect with the younger people so that he can hear it again. But for me, you know, it was rehashed news, but I was glad to hear it on a bigger stage, you know, so something where you guys are paying attention to. So for those who might have missed it, that's why I didn't post it earlier, because I wanted to let it breathe, you know, let Kwame shine off his own thing. There was so many people out there just posting it. So, you know, they going right to the Charlemagne thing, going right to the Cardi B thing. So I didn't do that. I want to bring some elements out of it that were very big points to me that I think you need to listen to. Those were very key moments, showing and pointing out things in society that was changing, and explaining how syndication works, and explaining how when you own stock, you get the stockholders reports. When you get the share, you get, sometimes depends on, you could be in a shareholders meeting, depends on how many shares that you have. A lot of things can go your way. A lot of things could go left. You never know. You got to prepare for it all, you know? So I'm just grateful and thankful that somebody gets it and that they're using their huge platform to continuously grow all of it. Like, we're going to grow this thing, you know, and keep pushing. We want to keep everybody winning. You know, and to have somebody who say, all right, these guys here on YouTube, we're not going to look down on you because we're on ESPN or because we was in the league and you weren't. See, that's what punks do. And see, Jack, instead of getting mad at people in the comment section, getting mad at people that's going to be getting at you and all that stuff, how about giving the brothers some real information that's helpful? Not saying that you had them before in the past and all that. I'm just saying, why don't you put Judge Joe Brown on all the smoke? You know why? Because you can't. You can't put Judge Joe Brown on all the smoke, because everything, if he'd have said all this stuff he said right there that I played in this video on your show, they would have hit the lights, hit the switch, y'all have been out of a job. No, he didn't talk about Kamala Harris. No, he didn't say this about the LGBTQ and all that stuff. No, he didn't say all these things. Yes, he did. Now, the bigger question is, what are you guys prepared to do? This isn't about nobody attacking you. Keep trying to change the narrative all you want into every little thing that you want it to be, or except for what it is. You can't accept the truth. And because of it, you're stuck in a lie. Don't worry. We've seen it all before. Pride always goes. Pride, baby. That's the biggest kryptonite bullet it is, ain't it, folks? Pride. Foolish male pride. Where would we be in this world without it? But that always goes before the fall. And I don't want you guys to fall. I want you guys to flourish. I want you guys to be well. I want you guys to be great. I want you guys to say, man, Sino, you know what? Thank you. You and Kwame, man, and Ticket TV, great job in getting the one-on-one with Kwame. Because everybody's been asking me to do it now, but I'm like, well, Ticket already did it. I don't really see a need unless Kwame really want to sit down and do it, then we'll do it. But I'm not pushing for it because I feel like the message is already out there. You know, so, and plus he just did it. Like, I think he did like 2 of them. I think he was talking with somebody else. So it's cool with me. I mean, if Kwame want to do it and he want to reach out and do it, I mean, it's wonders for me. And I would love to sit down and do it. We can chop it up. But I just felt like he just did that with them. So, and it was good. So congratulations to them. See, that's what real brothers do. This is what real brothers do. They support each other and they don't get jealous because somebody else didn't win. Man, he didn't win on his show and not mine. Silly. So we showing you guys how to be men, how to be alphas. No need to be jealous of any other human being in this world. Now keep it moving. Keep it a thou wow, and we out.